Pontiac Silverdome. It's round 12 of the AMA 4 Parts Unlimited Supercross Series. Hello, everybody. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Marty Reed bringing you the world's most outstanding Supercross riders. Getting right to the action, our qualifying procedure is as follows. The top 4 riders from each of the 2 qualifying heats get the first choice of gate positions while earning their way to the main event. The rest of the field heads to the semis, where the top 5 riders from each get a transfer to the night's moneymaker, the main event. And the only 2 riders then out of the last chance qualifier round out the field of 20 riders for tonight's 250 action. Heat 1 is ready to get underway. Jeremy McGrath, before putting on the goggles, look at the concentration in those eyes, David Bailey.
It's also confidence. That's been kind of the buzz going around the pits that Jeremy's got that look in his eye. And when he gets that, we all know what happens. McGrath,
you saw Albertine. Here's Ryan Hughes on the comeback trail.
And you can see just standing over his shoulder, Jeff Emick checking things out. He's in the next heat.
Ezra Lusk, Phil Lawrence, Mike Kudrowski back in action after being on the injured list. Kevin Windham as well as he tries to tune up, getting ready for the 125 West final race. He wants to put a capper on that crown. Buddy Antonez, Pocoroba, Goodman, Hedden, Voss, Barry Karsten trying for a 125-250 duel.
See those little slices in the center of the knobby there on Lusk's tire, just looking for a little bit extra traction.
Okay, we're set to go. The board sideways could happen any moment now. Jeremy McGrath with a great start, but Ezra Lusk on the inside. McGrath the whole shot. 49 popping into the picture, though. That's Todd DeHoop.
Unbelievable. McGrath went around the inside of DeHoop, past Lusk in the process.
And now we've got Kevin Windham in the lead, number 7.
McGrath almost going off the track right there behind him. Just got a little crossed up as he jumped the double there. But now Windham with his first lead on the 250 in a heat race that I can think of.
This is amazing. Windham comes back just to test the very sore wrist that he injured a few races ago, to see if he might have to sit out the next race before the 125 championship race. And here he is leading the qualifying round with Jeremy McGrath in second place.
Now Lusk is dropped back behind the hoop, looking for a way around as they come over the triple jump. You see all that airtime they get. The face of that jump isn't quite as steep as the others, so they get a little bit more distance there.
Ryan Hughes and Albertine also in the battle. Don't forget the top 4 make it as Ezra Lusk trying to get by Todd DeHoop, number 49. Ezra Lusk, who's been on the podium the last 3 races, makes the pass. And also Rhino to the inside, number 9 on the Kawasaki.
You can see Albertine creeping up into the picture and Kudrowski just behind him, but Ali Seymour looks on as his rider continues to hold that lead over Jeremy out front.
Kevin Windham, we've always said all season long in the 125 Western Division, we'd love to see him on a 250 to see how he could compete. Here's the battle of the qualifying round right now as Ryan Hughes puts pressure on Ezra Lusk with Albertine playing the opportunist role right behind him in 5th place.
Great shot of that triple. They come down out of the stands. They built 4 jumps coming down out of there, so to get yourself lined up for it is tough. It's as that gets rutted up a little later on in the program, that's going to get really tough. Probably won't be able to do it every lap.
The battle between Albertine, number 8, in pursuit of number 9, Ryan Hughes. Tries the inside, but Hughes got a lot of slingshot off the berm.
Hughes has been taking that outside line. That's how he lost his lead in the race that he led. He kept going wide and dropped a couple of positions.
You mentioned the air of confidence that surrounded McGrath during the practice rounds and so forth, David Bailey. What would happen to that confidence if a 125 rider would beat him here in the heat?
I don't think it'd be much of a problem as long as his lap times are competitive and he pulls away from everybody else, and more importantly Lusk, who's been riding and obviously the pace good enough to win these days. And Windham is a surprise in the 250. So if he won here, I don't think it would deflate Jeremy too much.
Jeremy doing the double-triple on this side. Windham going a triple-double. Windham, a little bobble. McGrath in good position now.
You see Jeremy, just like that last lap, just flipped the switch, decided to apply the pressure, and now Windham's making mistakes here and there because of it.
Jeremy McGrath, bar to bar with Kevin Windham. Windham, though, a good spurt of power. McGrath blocking him. Here in the whoops, that's the difference.
Looked like Wyndham was committed to that outside line before the whoops. Looked over and kind of knew Jeremy was going to come by there. He probably doesn't want to get out there and get in the middle of this. And I would look for him to make it easy for Lusk to get by if he does catch up.
Jeremy McGrath's worst finish here was in 1992. He placed 8th riding in the 250s on the East Coast while riding the West Coast 125s. 3 wins, though, here in Pontiac for Mac. 93, 94, and last year, 96. We take a look at the field summary. The top 4 scheduled to go to the main event with Ryan Hughes on the bubble.
Well, now that confidence that everyone was talking about after that win from Jeremy, now he's looking great. Got the lead from Wyndham.
4 laps to go. Which 4 riders will be our first qualifiers for the Pontiac Supercross? The answers just moments away. AMA Supercross on ESPN2 is being brought to you by Suzuki. Your Suzuki dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. And by Honda. With a whole line of new motorcycles, your Honda dealer is the most exciting place to be this spring. Honda, come ride with us. Qualifying round number 1 from the Silver Dome here in Pontiac, Michigan underway. Our leader, Jeremy McGrath, number 1. Jeremy just taking the lead away from Kevin Wyndham, a 125 West Coast rider, just tuning up for his race in Dallas, Texas later on. It looks like he wants to do more than just tune up. Ezra Lusk in 3rd. Albertine in 4th is getting some pressure, though, from Ryan Hughes.
Well, back behind Wyndham. Wyndham's been keeping tabs on where Lusk is. If he gets close, it's an observation. He may pull over and let Lusk have that better finishing and a better pick to the game.
Jeremy McGrath, after his late start, McGrath has been playing catch-up all season long.
Since I had such a late change, everyone else is 2 months ahead of me on testing, and they're about ready to go. I've had to spend 2 months while we're racing getting my bike ready, and we try not to take steps that are going to go backwards. I mean, that's in theory. No one wants to do that.
Jeremy looked really good in practice this week, and not only did he look good, but he seemed very happy about the test and what he had tried. And before this test, I felt that he was getting a little bit tired of trying and testing. And when you test, there's a lot of things that you test that don't work. More things that don't work usually than things that work. And this week was a really good week. All the things we tried were improvements.
Well, now it's time to see if Jeremy can convert the testing results into race results. And it looks like from this qualifying round, Jeremy McGrath has certainly got confidence in that bike, David Bailey.
He does, and we don't even see him in this picture. This is the battle for 3rd. And these guys are nowhere near the leaders. They're probably about 10 seconds behind Jeremy right now, and Wyndham is staying pretty close with Jeremy. Lusk made a mistake going up into the stands, stalled the bike momentarily, but fortunately he was able to just roll the bike back down that hill and bump start it. That's what enabled these guys, Albertine and Ryan, to catch back up. It's a tricky turn up there. As soon as you get up there, the dirt's a little stickier, and you got to make a 180-degree corner, drop right back down.
Well, a gravity pull, too, it seems like, doesn't it? You come a little
weird.
short.
Yeah, you let off, and you get to the corner and find out you let off a little too quick. But if you're going to stall it anywhere on a Supercross track, that would be the place.
2 laps to go. The battle for the final transfer underway. Greg Albertine, number 8. Number 9, Ryan Hughes. Rhino, injured most of the season. He's had all kinds of bad luck, but certainly like a good finish here at Pontiac.
Well, now you got Rhino on the... It's going to get bumped into the semi if he can't work his way around Albertine. Both Hughes and Albertine have been known to give it a little bit more than 100%. I think we're going to see that here in the last couple of laps.
There you see Catton, who went down, number 19.
Antonez gone down in the whoop section there.
That's right, Buddy Antonez.
Hard to tell what was wrong.
McGrath, Wyndham, Lusk, and Albertine, but Ryan Hughes might have something to say with 2 laps, less than 2 laps to go.
Working their way down out of the stands. That section gets so tricky as it gets more rutted. You see Albertine right there cut all the way across the track to protect that inside line from Hughes.
Here comes Hughes. Ryan gets blocked off again by Albertine. What a great battle for the final transfer. Albertine certainly doesn't want to go to the semi either. White flag lap underway. Jeremy McGrath, our leader by quite a bit.
Perfect move by Hughes. Cuts right over to the inside in the air. Nothing Albertine could do about it.
Great move. Rhino in good qualifying position.
Now he's got to go mistake-free and protect his line, or Albie will come right back in there with an aggressive pass.
Albertine did have to go to the semifinal round in the first round of the 1997 season. Came back, won the semifinal round, and won the main event.
I'll tell you what, Art McGrath has just walked away with his heat race. This is his biggest heat race win of the year.
Well, he's got that bike dialed in finally.
He's starting to look comfortable, like he's able to look for extra things out there on the racetrack, you know, even a little faster.
A little flair for the fans. The checkers awaits Jeremy McGrath. McGrath doing a great job.
Good strong
and Ryan Hughes, the final transfer spot. We'll be right back with the official results. Marty talks with our winner when we return. Lots of hot action out of our first qualifying heat of the evening as Kevin Windham, the 125 rider, holding off Jeremy McGrath just only so long as Jeremy takes over in the whoop section. McGrath, Windham, Lusk, and Hughes have qualified for tonight's main event. Marty Reed has made his way to the podium.
Yeah, down here with a very confident Jeremy McGrath, although Kevin Windham showed us a little bit coming back from injury, but once you got the lead, man, you pulled away.
Yeah, I had a pretty good start. I went in the first corner and I kind of messed up and rolled a few of them jumps and guys were over my head and stuff like that. But, you know, once I got going, I know I'm riding good tonight and I feel really confident. My bike's excellent and no reason to pass them back.
We've talked about that look. You had it last week. I mentioned it to you. Other people have noticed it. Do you feel it?
I can feel it.
That's trouble for everybody else, guys.
Well, that's a fact. Albertine, Lawrence, and Kudrowski having to go to the semifinal round out of that qualifying heat. Missing from the ranks this week is former Pontiac winner Mike LaRocco. LaRocco left the Suzuki team, informing team manager Roger DeCoster he wanted out.
I just found out late last night from Mike that he may not want to ride this weekend and may want to be released from his contract, and so I have to speak with my bosses and see what we can do, but we'll try to make it as smooth as possible. For a long time already we have had problems, you know, and some of it probably our fault and some of it probably their fault, you know, and it seems to be that we kind of make him happy, and it's probably better that he goes his ways and we go our way.
LaRocco is not here. His father/mechanic told us no comment. There was no question the relations were very strained. There was that verbal confrontation in the public view at Gator Back, and of course all season long Mike really never seemed happy. The rumor that LaRocco was being pursued by Team Honda for the outdoor season was denied by Honda's Wes McCoy, saying he would be interested after Mike LaRocco is released from contract, not before. As we get set now for the second qualifying heat, there's a big winner from Pontiac right there, number 10, Damon Bradshaw.
He's won here back-to-back nights, and back when it was not that it's not tough now. We talk about this each year, how it used to be on Saturday night and then Sunday. You can see a great shot right there of Hughes telling Emmett what's happening out there on the track. From up here we get the great view. We can see all the ruts and all the tricky spots, but from their vantage point, the jumps are so high they can't see anything.
Yeah, Ryan Hughes just getting off the track, and some of the idiosyncrasies passing along to his teammate Larry Ward from Honda of Troy. Marshall Plum, his mechanic, before putting on the goggles here in heat number 2. McGrath, Ezra Lusk, who's had some fine performances, is also in this round. Let's go down trackside to Marty.
Yeah, you were right about not being able to see the racetrack. It's almost like being the head football coach for the Detroit Lions. That's why they have the guys up in the press box. The other thing that's interesting is it's Larry Ward is starting on the right side of the doghouse. Of all the points contenders, he's the only one to pick a spot on the far side of the doghouse. I'm curious to see how that pays off for him.
I want to correct myself. Ezra Lusk is not in this heat. He was on my sheet, of course, taking second in the first qualifying heat. It's Emig, Larry Ward, Jimmy Button, a well-known rider in this heat, along with Bradshaw. Ryan Huffman has been getting good starts in the qualifying heats and semifinal rounds, making it to the main event. The privateer, but not getting very good starts in the main event. 30 board is sideways right now. Cliff Palmer, Robbie Raynard also in this one, along with Michael Jones, and we're off. It's Jeff Emig, the advantage on the outside. Robbie Raynard, number 24, on the inside.
Well, Raynard just snuck around the inside of that corner and surprised Emig, who probably thought he had the whole shot for sure, controlled everything, and Emig just turned in there on a dime, came out with the lead.
Robbie Raynard, the Primal Honda, a 125 Western rider, sharpening his skills here in the 250 scene on the East Coast. Getting a big lead now as he goes up into the stands. Emig in second place.
We've seen Raynard do that before. He gets a great start when he does, and he gets away real quick. Looks like he's going to pull away, and then guys like Emig, some of the real heavy favorites, start to soak up that lead and put pressure on him. That's when he makes mistakes. But this is his second time on the 250 this year. Maybe with these good starts, he'll be able to be a little bit more relaxed, hang on to that lead longer. Michael Jones, number 58, in third place. And he's followed by Jimmy Button and then Damon Bradshaw, Larry Ward after Bradshaw. Only the top four making it out of the qualifying round to the main event. The others going on to the semifinals. It's going to be a tough task for Bradshaw and for Larry Ward. They got to work their way around two tough guys, well, three tough guys to pass, actually. Button, Mike Jones, and Jeff Emig. These guys aren't the easiest to get around. Bradshaw just making it in front of Button, number 18. He's sandwiched with Michael Jones, goes to the outside, finds the new line. Number 10, Damon Bradshaw. Well, that line paid off briefly, but then he got run out of track room, and Mike Jones took that fastest line right away from him. Damon Bradshaw's first win here in Pontiac was all the way back in 1990. He won it in 91 as well and swept the doubleheader in 92. Raynard is our leader here in the second qualifying heat with Emig in second place. The battle for third is underway. Damon Bradshaw and Jimmy Button now in third and fourth. Michael Jones looks over at Jimmy Button. Button blocks him down. Jones goes down. Well, Jones, he just got in the middle there. He didn't know what to do. He was just trying to stay away from Button and get away clean, and they got hooked up. Down he went. Larry Ward had to dodge him. Something tells me we'll have a big battle, though, for the final qualifying spot as we take another look at Jimmy Button coming in number 18 on Jones. Well, what happened is Button came over the jump on the inside of Jones, jumped a little bit too far, actually, which probably was a blessing for him. He ended up making the pass, but Jones got hooked on the back of his bike and went down. Here's number 24, Robbie Raynard. He's got a 4-second lead on second place, Jeff Emig. Then it's Bradshaw in third, Button in fourth, with Larry Ward not far behind. Pretty spread out at the moment, Bradshaw. As soon as I said it'd be tough to get around all these guys, got around everybody, and he's closing on Emig right now. The run for the checkers in our second qualifying round when we return. To the Silver Dome in Pontiac, Michigan. Art Ekman, David Bailey, and Marty Reed. Qualifying round number 2 after Jeremy McGrath dominated our first qualifying round. It is Robbie Raynard dominating this one, number 24. Jeff Emig is right behind Raynard. Well, a good ways back. I shouldn't say right behind, as it's been lengthened out now to a 5-second lead for Robbie Raynard, number 24. Raynard's been running minute flat lap times. Just a little bit quicker than everybody else, not much, just enough to open up that lead another quarter or half a second. There you see a 1:02 for Emig, so if my stopwatch is right, that's 2 seconds a lap faster. The Supercross points leader Jeff Emig last week fought through his pain threshold to turn in an inspiring performance, second place behind McGrath.
I started getting a really severe hamstring and like inner thigh muscle pull, and then it changed everything again, because now I got to deal with one more aspect, you know, one more thing that's giving me pain and giving me trouble. And so I finally worked that out, and I mean, I was really pleased with my race. I was pleased with the way that I rode the main event.
Emig has every reason to be proud of last week's race. Let's go down to Marty Reed for checking in trackside.
Yeah, the big question mark is they don't know what's going on this weekend. They have been 2 seconds a lap slower through practice, and it is holding true right now. His best lap's been a 1:01, and Jeremy McGrath in his heat was running in the 59-second range, and he is losing distance to Robbie Rayner. And David, we talked about this. This would be the 3rd week in a row. If McGrath finishes in front of Emig, the points battle narrows. That lump in your throat gets an awful lot bigger.
Yeah, it does. You can't sleep as it is. This title just pecks at you all year long, and Emig knows it's his to lose. That's not a good place to be, and Jeremy keeps closing.
Emig is 8 seconds behind the leader, Robbie Rayner, with 3 laps to go. And it's Damon Bradshaw right on his tail.
You know, there's times when you just get to a racetrack, and no matter what you do, no matter what they do to the bike, you just can't get it dialed in. It's just someplace that the soil, the configuration, there's too many turns going to the right or too many going to the left. The whoop sections are trickier, and at the moment it looks like Emig is struggling here, but he's going to have to get it wired before the main because Jeremy's got it dialed.
Emig telling us before the race he's injury-free. That bruise on his thigh has healed up well. The hamstring underneath him feels good.
Well, he won't have any excuses, and sometimes that puts a little bit more pressure on him.
Damon Bradshaw looking for every avenue possible to try to get around Emig and take 2nd place here in the 2nd qualifying heat.
And I don't mean that, Art, to say that Emig makes excuses, but last week, of course, to finish 2nd or 3rd, he was still a courageous performance, no matter how you slice it. But here, he's healthy again. He should be able to pick up where he left off. Being a contender for the lead, winning races. But right now, Bradshaw is not making it any easier for him.
Damon Bradshaw going to the outside, tries to sling around Emig. Emig, though, gets a little power away. Let's see what happens here. Oh, Bradshaw deciding to go to the outside.
I think what Bradshaw's doing is smart. He can't pass him if he's following. He's trying everywhere else, all the way to the inside to the whoops. This next whoop section is where Damon's been making up some time. If he gets a good enough drive out of this corner, he'll pass him down the right side here.
Let's check it out. Damon Bradshaw with 2 of his best performances on the season. The last 2 main events, 6th place finishes after having to go to the semifinal round. Right now, he's not looking at the semifinal round, but he's looking to pick up a position on Jeff Emig.
You know, while we're talking about this battle, I can't overlook the fact that Robbie Rayner, I couldn't even figure out where he was.
He's getting the white flag right now.
He's in a different race. He's already coming the other way.
Oh, it's a great race. One of building confidence for Robbie Rayner, that's for sure. Robbie's been testing the waters here in the 250 class, a 14th in the last race in St. Louis last week.
See Bradshaw continuing to try different lines. Trying to go anywhere else. It seems like there's a couple of places on the racetrack where he may be a little bit quicker than Emig, but Emig's just smart enough.
Emig knows how to use the track, even in the ruts, doesn't he, David?
Well, that's the amazing thing about this guy is when he's not on, which apparently from talking with his mechanic and with the information that Marty had, and he's still able to get the job done. And he knows the main event's a different story. The start is going to play a major role, and the ruts are going to get worse.
Does it look like maybe the Bradshaw is saying, hey, with only 1 lap to go, I might as well back off? Robbie Rayner at the finish line jump. Robbie Rayner, our qualifying winner in qualifying heat number 2.
That his first 250 heat win?
I believe it is.
It's a dandy, too. He was in a different race.
Jeff Emig nailing down 2nd place. The official results and a visit with Mr. Rayner when we get back. 8 riders have now qualified for tonight's Supercross main event. These 4 are the latest, and Marty's with Robbie Rayner right now.
A very happy Robbie Rayner. I saw your mechanic giving you the signs, +8, +10, you're smoking. Did you realize you were destroying the field, and Jeff Emig included?
No, I really didn't. I just went out there and I just trying to ride smooth and not making mistakes. Like this last week, I got a lot more time on the bike, so I feel a lot better, so hopefully I can do something a little bit better in the main this week. So that's all I'm going to do, just try to go out and ride smooth like I was and not make any mistakes.
Well, you certainly didn't make any there. Do you like this type of layout? I mean, it looks like it's great for the flying, but the ruts are starting to come in.
Yeah, I ride a little tight, like in the whoops a little bit, but like I just like riding the 250. I feel really comfortable on the 250. And I don't know. I time everything really good on 250, so just a little bit of extra power. I guess I like.
We're going to get to watch that timing one more time in the main event.
Brainerd wanting to go into the season just to finish the season, and a lot of people say, well, let's get more aggressive. Now he has. Tonight's semifinal action could get hairy from the Silverdome track. It's all coming up. We're back at the Silverdome in Pontiac, Michigan for Supercross. Taking a look at the Suzuki track map, David Bailey, the Silverdome layout unique with our third ride of the year up into the stands.
That's going to add a little bit to the lap time. First of all, you got a nice wide first corner after that long start. You can see over Albertine's shoulder how far it is that first corner. Then in the first of two whoop sections, it's a little tougher this time because they've made the faces a lot sharper. The guys can't just go wide open across the tops. Another whoop section leads you up into the stands. Now coming down out of here gets tricky because they put 4 jumps in there, and as that gets rutted, trying to pick your line for the first of 2 triples before you work your way around to the finish. And we've seen a lot of the same obstacles here tonight, but we're seeing some new stuff, more technical, and that'll benefit the guys that have a little more finesse out there.
Top 5 riders advance from each semifinal round, and of course the favorite right here is Greg Albertine from Riverside, California, Team Suzuki. Albertine could be a big difference in Jeremy McGrath's comeback to get back on top of the points.
Well, he could help certainly by making things a little bit tougher for Emick. It's nice to have a teammate like that. I know that it seems like Greg and Jeremy have been hanging around a little bit closer.
Board sideways, Phil Lawrence, Todd DeHoop, Grayson Goodman, Tony Puckarub also involved in this semifinal round. That's Jeff Hedden, number 74, to the outside, with Greg Albertine spurting ahead.
Oh, that was a great move. Albie looked like he's gambled a little bit by not going for the hole shot there and tucking it tight, but he got through that next section clean, and now he's got a good lead.
Looks like a rugged whoop session they're just getting through.
Especially in the first lap, because they're starting now. You can see the ruts forming in the corners. Those whoops are getting rutted. Everyone's got their favorite line they have dialed. Then you got to move over, use something else. The guy next to you is coming into you, and it gets tough in the first few laps.
Greg Albertine, our leader, riding with a chipped vertebrae. He had a rough time of it since back-to-back second places earlier in March. An 8th in Houston, did not qualify once again in Orlando because of a crash. Hedden goes off the track, as you see there on the corner. Albertine now a humongous lead on Buddy Antunez. Antunez, a crash victim in the earlier qualifying.
Kudrowski starting to move up to the back of DeHoop. It was his first ride back after having the injury.
Todd DeHoop in 3rd. Mike Kudrowski now in 4th place. Kudrowski, a former winner here in 1993. As you see him go through that vicious whoop section.
Well, the idea is you don't want the front wheel to get in there and hit those sharp ones, so you try to loft the front wheel, wheelie over the bad ones, and what happens about 3/4 of the way through there, you just end up hitting a bad one anyway.
Coming off that injured list, missing 4 Supercrosses, Mike Kudrowski. How about it, Marty Reed?
Well, you remember, guys, he was just starting to get ready to crack the top 5. He had 2 6th-place finishes before the injury. I talked to him tonight. I said, what are you going to be happy with? And it sounded like the Mike Kudrowski of old. He said, hey, I got to be in the top 5 or I'm not going home happy at all.
Of course, getting that injured thumb on the right side at Gatorback in the National really is debilitating when you're talking about a motorcycle rider.
Well, it's so tough. I mean, if there was some way to monitor the telemetry, what's going on out there with the gear shifting, the brakes, the clutch, the amount of weight you distribute, the speed they're traveling, and the guts it takes to jump doubles and triples with ruts like that. Look at, he hops all the way over that plateau and the next jump. He's doing that blind. It just comes from experience, and it's amazing what these guys do out there, and while injured, they still get it done pretty good.
You saw on the screen the top 5 in position to get the transfer to the main event with 4 laps to go here in our first semifinal round.
Kudrowski getting around DeHoop, works his way up into the stands. Long ways behind the leader. But he's got enough time to catch Antunez.
4 riders striving to make the main. More rip-roaring action from the Silverdome when we get back. Welcome back to the Silverdome, our first semifinal qualifying round. Greg Albertine, our leader. And of course, we mentioned prior, when he did not make the transfer to the main out of the qualifying heat, that Greg Albertine did win the semifinal in that first round of Los Angeles and then went on to win the race.
Right. It's totally feasible to see people coming out of the semi to win the main event now. Even the last chance qualifier in some cases. Jeremy did that here once. And for Greg, I mean, it's more time on the track, and you can try and turn it into a positive. And I've said it before, I sound like a broken record. You get more track time, get a little bit more loose. Whatever mistakes you made in the heat race, you can iron those out now. But you just really want to make it out of that heat race. Gives you a lot more confidence. Jeremy's in there relaxing now, getting some fluid, keeping an eye on the racetrack.
For those new fans, Mike Kudrowski, number 100, a very familiar name to the loyal fans, as he has had national championship in the outdoors after national championship, a Triple Crown winner, winning in the 500, the 250s, and the 125s. Also a three-time Daytona winner. So he's no stranger to the veteran fans, that's for sure. Albertine goes down. Albertine is down right before the whoop section, trying to get restarted before Buddy Antunez comes around. He is still in first place.
We had a little trouble with that corner the last time. There was that inside berm, and after he jumps that little camel hump, we'll see, we'll take another look at it. This is a jump before the corner. He tries to hop over this little last bump. See, he gets a little crooked right there. He's going for that inside berm. Well, he made it with his head, but the bike didn't get in there soon enough. It's tricky. There's a lot of technical stuff out there, and if you don't play your cards right and pay attention everywhere around the racetrack, it'll get you like that.
He still has a 2-second lead. He's built back up on Buddy Antunez, who came off the arena cross scene. Here's the battle for fourth place. DeHoop and Lawrence. Lawrence, number 12. He's battled a sore thumb, tendons in the thumb.
He's put in some strong rides lately.
He sure has. White flag lap, final lap, here in our semifinal number 1.
Phil has caught DeHoop. He should be able to make the pass right here.
Phil Lawrence trying to get the spin out of there, but the guy from Michigan, DeHoop.
He needed to get in there and put on the brakes a little harder than that, but he's got another 3/4 of a lap to try to find his way around. He caught him pretty quick, so he should be able to get around, but in that last lap, you never know what DeHoop may have. Wide bike.
Our final lap of the semifinal round, and DeHoop is battling it out with Lawrence. They both have the transfer to the main if they just stay up top.
See Phil looking for a line around the outside, and DeHoop just went a little wider that time. Both of them looked like they were in slow motion, but it worked. DeHoop's still ahead of him.
Right now it's Albertine, Antunez, Kudrowski, DeHoop, and Phil Lawrence.
I was just about to say, there goes Phil.
Phil Lawrence, a nice move. Checker flag for Albertine.
I was about to say how good Albertine was looking, and as soon as before I had a chance to say it, he went down.
So our next Supercross telecast will be coming to you from Charlotte Motor Speedway. Join us at this time, 9 o'clock in the evening on May 3rd, 6 o'clock Pacific time, while Marty tries to make his way through the ruts to the podium next. Number 8, Greg Albertine. Did it the hard way. He had a big lead, though. You got to give him credit for that, as he goes down in the corner, but is able to get up before Buddy Antunez can pass him from second place back to first. So these riders advancing, only way to make it to that money round, the main event. And Marty's got Greg Albertine right now by his side.
Hey, he's not smiling right now, even though he won the semi. You'll do anything to make an interesting race for us on TV, won't you?
Yeah, I wasn't too happy with my race out there, even though I won. Tried something new in going into that turn and just made a little mistake, went down. Just frustrating ride, you know. I got a little bit of on pump up there. Something's vibrating on my bike, but we'll have it sorted out for the main.
Well, I had you at 1 minute lap times. That's only a second off of Jeremy's best time.
Well, I don't want to be a second off. I want to be a second better. But, yeah, my Suzuki's running great out there, and so hopefully going to be on the podium in the main.
Well, he won't try that move again, guys, I guarantee you.
Okay, but a fine ride by Buddy Antunez as well. Number 19, good and steady for second place, as we take a look now at Larry Ward. He is the headliner of our second main semifinal round. Ward, along with Ryan Huffman, Cliff Palmer, Tom Clowers. There's a lot of opportunity in this particular semifinal, as Larry Ward is really the only big name.
Well, he should be able to handle the semi, no problem. If you look down the list at the names and what Larry's done in the past against these guys. He's lined up this time to the inside of the starter's box. Marty pointed out in the heat race he went a little further outside. He's been getting good starts from out there, but his next toughest competitors are going to be guys like Palmer, Jones, Mike Caton.
Mike Caton from Sporton, Ohio, not too far away, Sparta, Ohio. He's got a lot of Friends and family ride here, and a fantastic crowd here at this traditional spot for Supercross. I mean, back in the days, they used to have double headers here. Quite a few of them, in fact. Many years they had 2 races on a weekend. And one of the guys who just happened to sweep one of those double headers, sitting right next to me.
Got
Mr.
lucky.
Bailey. Oh, yeah, got lucky.
I got 2 hole shots is what I did. Because I rode horrible in practice. I rode even worse in the heat race. Jeff Ward and Johnson smoked me in the heat. And in the main event, the triple was the thing that was bothering me. I couldn't do it, and I never had to. I got the whole shot, had a big enough lead when I got there. I doubled it.
Another local favorite giving you some static in there, huh?
Yeah, Keith Bowen, he caught up to me and passed me for a little while. The crowd got into it, and then at some point, I decided I had to take the crowd out of it.
The first race run here all the way back in 1976 when Marty Smith on a Honda, his first ever Supercross win in the first ever race right here at the Silverdome.
Hannah's had some good ones here, too.
Oh, he's Mr. Silverdome. No question about it. 6 wins, Bob Hanna here.
I've been on the starting line and seen at the opposite end of the stadium. They flashed up on the screen up there, a hurricane warning. The crowd started chanting and stomping their feet, and he ended up winning the thing.
Won 6 consecutive races, 2 races each year in 3 consecutive years. Okay, our second semifinal round is underway. That's Ryan Huffman, number 47 on the outside, though. We've got Mike Caton, number 68, taking the lead. Mike Caton Jr. He's had some good starts this year. Ryan Huffman in second is being challenged right now.
Now you see Larry Ward, number 6, right in there where he probably doesn't want to be, but at least he's not too far back. Looks like he's going to work his way up into third past Huffman right there. This is sometimes can be a dangerous spot because you got guys that because of some of the absence of the top names, you got guys that have a chance to make the main where normally they wouldn't. They put out a little bit more effort. In some cases, ride a little bit over their head. If you're a guy like Larry Ward, you can get caught up in a mess like that.
Boy, it's been dangerous on these tracks lately, riding a little bit over your head. Dangerous for the veterans as well as the upstarts. As we have Caton in the lead, Mike Jones, and being challenged by Larry Ward. The top 5 going to the main event out of this one. Ryan Huffman is behind Ward, and then Cliff Palmer behind him.
See Ward trying to go to the inside there, going, okay, what are these guys going to do? He went to the inside and actually blew it there just a little bit. Look at...
Oh, Michael Jones. Here comes Larry Ward. Ward moving into second place, wants to make the outside move on Jones. Oh, he just barely got through the sandwich. But Ward, very proficient at the whoops.
Their handlebars almost touched her there. They're getting close, looking for that favorite line, but Larry Ward handles it, no trouble.
Ward riding for the first week with Honda factory help. He's got a new engine.
Smoking through that whoop section that leads up into the tightest corner on the racetrack.
He's had good starts the last 3 races. Did not get the start here in the semifinal he would like, but right now he is where he likes to be. Not battling for third as we see here.
Well, Mike Jones gave Caton an elbow in the side, and Caton's just gone backwards. Now he's getting pressure from Huffman. Looks like Huffman's going to work his way around. He's got a better line there. Stayed a little lower off the triple.
Number 47, Huffman moving up a spot. You know, Ryan Huffman is one of these privateers that is just trying to catch the eye of a factory team or an independent team. He's had very good semifinal rounds and good qualifying rounds this year, David Bailey. But I think it's the end result in the main events, the 10th and 11th places, that he just hasn't been able to turn the corner to get some good sponsorship.
That's what the factories look at, too. There's a lot of guys that can go fast for a little while. I mean, there's been plenty of guys that can go out and lead a race, and they end up crashing and they don't do anything. The factories are looking for potential, guys that'll try all the way to the end.
Here comes Ryan Huffman. He gets lots of practice also on the outdoors track. His dad, the promoter over at Washougal, and we'll be hitting that national motocross scene. Well, it won't be too long now. 5 more riders hoping to hold on to their position for the transfer here at the Silverdome. AMA Supercross on ESPN2 is being brought to you by Motorcycle Mechanics Institute. Quality training for the motorcycle industry. Supercross from the Silverdome, drawing closer to the main event. Semifinal number 2, and this is our leader, Larry Ward. Ward just taking away with it right now, riding very smoothly, confidently over this very rugged course. There's Ryan Huffman, number 47, currently in second place, with Michael Jones in third. Palmer has moved up to 4th now.
Palmer on that very jump right there as he enters the corner in the first lap. Must have hit neutral right there. It looked like he almost went over the handlebars. A couple of guys passed him on both sides, almost took him out. So he had to regroup from an almost crash right there in the opening lap. That could have been for sure to the last chance qualifier for him.
Palmer, one of the main ingredients to the arena cross scene, a very successful season this year. And Palmer now adjusting to the longer lap times and the longer laps.
And you got about 4 or 5 times in arena cross in here. Little tougher sections. There's no triples in the arena cross. It's one big plateau, one long loop section. That's about all they have room for.
Larry Ward with an 8-second lead here in semifinal number 2 with Ryan Huffman in second place. Jones in third.
Huffman riding a good race. Staying about even with Larry Ward, who's starting to turn some pretty quick laps. Pulling away from Mike Jones.
And Caton right there is on the bubble. He's got to catch up with Cliff Palmer to transfer to the main. Otherwise, the last chance qualifier. And only 2 riders will make it to the money out of that LCQ. Here comes Palmer making a move on Jones. Palmer in the whoops. Jones spurts ahead on the outside. Palmer cuts inside. Good move by Palmer.
Looked like Jones just let him have that. That could be dangerous. He's got a few more guys coming. You see all these guys stacking up behind Jones. That'll put him into the last chance qualifiers. Not careful.
Jones from Export, Pennsylvania. Give the fans a show. Look at that. Marshall Plum, the mechanic, and Larry Ward saying, hey, let's showboat a little bit. You got a big lead.
Well, I want to see some of that, too. I haven't seen Larry do any heel clickers, or his legs are long enough to reach out there.
White flag lap, 1 lap to go. Ward, Huffman, Palmer, Caton, and Jones, our field summary.
Larry can do some cool styling. You don't see that much of it from him, though. He just gets down to business. He's led some main events this year. He's had some good rides, but what I think they'd like to do over there at Honda of Troy, and especially Larry, I know he cares about it, is to try to finish the last 5 laps in these main events. If he could do that, it'd be a real threat.
Well, he's been fading lately in the main events after getting good starts, David Bailey. Even though he says he's not getting any pressure from his team, they're scratching their heads. What's going on? I asked him if it was conditioning. He said, no, it's not. I just get a little nerves. I get a little arm pump, and I'm not following through. Well, he's hoping to win one of these next 4 races.
Yeah, it's just a matter of getting used to it, and all of a sudden something clicks, and you're able to ride to your potential while under pressure. That's the thing that some guys can never figure out.
The checkers are waving for number 6, Honda of Troy's Larry Ward. So Ward will get the transfer, and we'll check out the official results as they come over the final transfer spot right now. The battle with Mike Jones, number 58. More racing from Pontiac, Michigan when we get back. Here's a big pass as Jones gets in front of Caton, but Larry Ward sneaks to the inside, and it is Larry Ward who will take over the lead and follow through with a dominating victory here in our second semifinal round. These 5 riders avoiding the LCQ, making the main event here this evening. Let's go down to Marty Reed as we take a look at those 5 riders.
Yeah, and you showed the pass. You really didn't get the start, Larry, that I know you wanted, but boy, once you got the lead, you pulled away.
Yeah, I'm having a little problems on the start tonight. It's real tacky. I'm getting a lot of traction out of the gate. I think I got it figured out for the main, and hopefully I do anyway. I didn't get the best start, and I just, rode smart. I knew those guys. I knew I could beat them, and I didn't want to get in a hurry and get in a crash and not qualify. So I just rode smart, and we got those Honda Troy CR250 running pretty good right now.
David Bailey always says track time can't be beat. It sounds like that's what you're saying, but does it also drain too much out of you from the fatigue side?
No, it doesn't drain anything out of me. Actually, on a night like tonight, the track's real tricky because, like I said, it is sticky. Actually, I'm glad I got to ride this semi. I was real tight in the heat race. I loosened up a little bit in the semi, so hopefully by the main I'll be real loose and ready to go.
We'll see him then, guys.
Okay, we're in the stretch run for the 1997 Supercross Championship. Only 3 more rounds after tonight. If you're in the area, don't miss the fun. Charlotte Motor Speedway, Texas Stadium, and Sam Boyd Stadium in Las Vegas. There's a surprise in every round, or at least there has been so far. As we leave you, let's take a look at this week's Honda Flashback.
This week's Honda Flashback takes us to the Silverdome, 1990. And at the start, it was number 9, Johnny O'Mara, with the hole shot with heavy pressure from Damon Bradshaw. Going up into the stands early in the race, Bradshaw to the inside, moves around O'Mara and into the lead. And it looked like Bradshaw was starting to pull away when a mistake on this double jump coming up short gave O'Mara just enough room to squeak by back into the lead on the inside. And then came number 1, the defending champion, Jeff Stanton, the hometown favorite around Bradshaw and putting pressure on O'Mara for the lead. O'Mara goes to the outside, Stanton to the inside. Side by side over the finish line jump, Johnny only can do one thing, protect the inside line. He does it, Stanton squares the corner and takes over the lead, and the crowd went wild. And as O'Mara began to drop off the pace, Bradshaw picked it up. Challenging Stanton late in the race, side by side over the finish line jump, Bradshaw does the same thing to Stanton that Stanton had done to O'Mara, squaring him off and taking over the lead. So it was Bradshaw adding another win to his streak of 5 for the 1990 season, while Jeff Stanton held on to second place.
Before you run to 4 different dealerships, consider countywide Chrysler Plymouth Jeep Eagle. Luxury, economy, sport utility, Countywide really does have a vehicle for everyone. And with great financing and service, you just can't beat Countywide.
With deals like a 97 Jeep Grand Cherokee lease for just $249 a month, you can't beat Countywide. Satisfaction guaranteed from our family to yours. Countywide Chrysler Plymouth Jeep Eagle, Garden Grove.
When you have plumbing problems, trust Coast Heating, Plumbing, and Air. Coast repairs heating, plumbing, and air conditioning problems 24 hours, 7 days a week, with honest personnel assisting you with firm repair quotes. Coast's 25-vehicle fleet serves exclusively Orange County while providing honest, satisfaction-guaranteed repairs. For your free plumbing and router service quote, call Coast today, 1-800-88-COAST.
ESPN has been working to improve sports for the fan.
This radioactive golf ball shows up 10,000 times brighter than a normal one. PGA champ Tommy Armour tries it out.
Though too toxic for tournament play, the bright ball did lead to a breakthrough in sports coverage. ESPN Net Sports Zone. Updated nearly 1,000 times an hour, it always has something new to make you a better fan. ESPN Net Sports Zone. Technology for you.
AMA Supercross is being brought to you by 1-800-COLLECT, the way we call collect today. While we were away, Anthony Pocaroba from Zephyr Hills, Florida, and Grayson Goodman from Plano, Texas, became the final two riders to qualify for tonight's 250 main. The 125 riders now are on the track. As we take a look at the Suzuki point standings, they're showing Tim Ferry could wrap up the 125 East title if the chips fall right tonight. A win and a sixth or worse place finish for Ron Cotta would give Ferry the title. If Ferry places number 22 in front of number 70, Ricky Carmichael, that would eliminate Carmichael from title contention. But you can bet that Carmichael will give us plenty of excitement here tonight. For Ricky Carmichael, his rookie pro Supercross season has been a big learning experience. Last week was simply another example of what I'm talking about.
I learned that I need to take the same lines in the main and, you know, not switch them up, especially as I had a nice lead like I did and blew it. And anyhow, I got up, and knowing that I was faster than him, I should have taken my time a little bit longer to pass Stefan instead of going right for it, but I just got anxious. You know, I was behind him for 2 laps right on him, and I was ready to go on with it, you know, and I don't know, I just kind of went high, and he took my line from me, and I crashed. But, you know, I'd rather learn this year than next year because I'm planning on winning the East Coast next year.
Ricky Carmichael is recorded in the 1997 record book, crash, win, crash, win, crash. It's his time to win tonight, David Bailey.
Well, that worked for him for a little while. There you get the rest of the starting grid, Paul Curry, Sheik lined up all the way on the inside. I guarantee you this, if you keep your eyes on Carmichael for the whole main and nowhere else, you won't be disappointed. The guy is going to do something incredible.
Marty Reed down trackside as these 125 riders go through the paces of checking out the track. Has the track changed much, Marty?
Well, no, not really. Surprisingly, great maintenance done between the rounds, so the 125s are going to be in good shape. But I've got a surprise down here, a guy we don't normally see at a Supercross event, 7-time Grand National champion Scott Parker. You're in town for a wedding.
That's it. I come to a wedding and end up at a Supercross. How does that work, you know? I told him, I says, hey, I'm going to eat and I'm going to run, but I'll be back for the party later. Like you say, Lisa Reed got married tonight and we had to come down, and it wasn't far away, so we said, let's go with it. We're heading over to the Supercross.
Yeah, well, the reason I know is I'm in the same hotel. I go to check in. They gave me the bridal suite. I almost surprised them there.
No way! God, you'd have been laying in bed watching TV or something,
Well,
you know?
No, the worst part was I got a call this morning and they say, excuse me, Mr. Reed, can you come down? Your credit card's maxed out. So I got to go talk to Lisa here.
Oh, and find out. Yeah, if you would have seen the wedding, the credit card's definitely maxed out.
Yeah, but it's mine right now, guys. Hey, good seeing you.
All right, it's great, great being at the Supercross. It's really neat to come to these guys' race and watch them go out there and give them hell. It's great.
Who you rooting for?
I'm going for Jeremy all the way, and Scott Sheik, and Ricky Carmichael in the 125s.
All right, we're getting ready to go, guys. He's going to sit back and watch. We got to go to work.
Well, thank you so much, Marty. One of the great guys in motorcycle racing, a Grand National champion, of course. Well, he's the legend, living legend, Scott Parker.
Yeah, he's a great guy. You can tell right there just from his energy and charisma why he's so well liked. And I had an opportunity to watch a mile down at Del Mar as he wrapped up the title over Chris Carr with Stanton. And those guys go 120 and throw it sideways.
Ricky Carmichael getting ready. Boy, he looked fast in qualifying. As we look at the back of Scotty Sheik, getting his last second instructions before putting on the goggles.
And I've noticed something, too, that unlike most of the races, especially with a long start, and the gate's pretty fair in terms of the guy from the inside and the guy from the outside, the distance to the first corner, but all the heavy favorites have lined up to the inside of the starter's box. In fact, it goes Sheik, and then you've got Carmichael and Ferry. All those guys lined up to the far inside because that first corner is so wide, the guys that hole shot and drift wide get taken out by the guys on the inside.
There's Tim Ferry and his mechanic Lee McCullum.
Big deep breath. No matter how long you race, you still, I get nervous up here, dang it. I wish I could get over that.
If you were in Ferry's position, Ferry has not won a 125 race this year, but he's leading in points. You'd be racing Roncada, not whoever's out in the lead, wouldn't you?
I'm strictly racing for the title, and if that means I got to get a fourth, I'm getting a fourth. I don't want to be proud and try to win it. We've seen that backfire before. The one that's probably the most famous, of course, happened outdoors. Rick Johnson lost the 250 title in 1982 trying to win races.
We're just a few seconds away from seeing who wins the 500 Hole Shot Award. 1/900 Pro Race Hole Shot Award. Will it be number 22, Tim Ferry, as they start to rev up? Our 125 main event is now underway. Oh, Ferry got a decent start. He's to the inside. Ferry cuts across the line first, but taking the lead is Jeff DeMint, number 50. Ferry, number 22, to his outside. Ferry now moves into the lead in the whoop section with DeMint right behind him.
Ferry doing a good job of closing out Carmichael going down the start chute. Carmichael had nowhere to go. He was right behind him in that first corner, but couldn't stay with him. Now he's back there battling.
Carmichael having a battle with Jimmy Neese, and Carmichael now and Neese side by side. Neese number 85, Carmichael number 70. Carmichael coming off the hill out of the stands. He's got Jeff DeMint, number 50 from Humboldt, Texas, right in front of him as Tim Ferry tries to draw a lead. Look at that leap. Oh, my goodness. Carmichael.
I told you, keep your eyes on this kid.
Carmichael's in trouble. He hits the hay bale. So once again, being a little over-anxious, maybe.
No, way too over-anxious.
He still has time to win the race, however.
He's still got time, but that's if Ferry beats him, then that eliminates Carmichael from the title chance. So right there, maybe a little bit too over-anxious. Here's another look. Carmichael was laid over a little bit too far as he tried to go for that double. He didn't make it over all the way, and it just washed out underneath him. Now Ferry's got a great lead, and he's got none of his contenders anywhere close.
And Carmichael in 13th is trying to wade through traffic. Okay, Tim Ferry out in front.
Here comes Sheik. Sheik getting through that whoop section past DeMint.
Deegan's pushing his bike off the track.
He lost the chain right there. You can see there's no chain on the sprockets.
Unfortunate, because he's getting a lot of experience on the track, racing in another division. Scotty Sheik in third place now, trying to put the move on Jimmy Neese, number 85. Here's our leader, number 22, Tim Ferry, the points leader. He's looking for a win.
This is what he needed, just a little break to make this seem a little easier than it's been for him. He's had to fight and scrap and get physical with John Dowd. He said, I don't care, whatever it takes to win the title. Well, now it's a lot easier for him. Nice lead.
Ron Cotta was way back, and now he is moving up through the riders. He's just past number 50, Dement. You see, number 112, Ron Cotta, is the only one really with a chance here tonight to hold on to any title hopes.
There goes Sheik into second.
He's taking Jimmy Neese, number 85. The battle is on. Sheik had kind of a tough time of it in practice today.
He muscled his way through that whoop section.
Let's go down to Marty Reed.
Down here with a very disappointed Brian Deegan. Brian, that we noticed that the chain came off, and it defeats the purpose of why you came out here, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much. I was up there up front, felt good tonight. Chain broke. It just pretty much ends your night. There's nothing else you can do.
Sorry to see you out.
A 6-second lead for Tim Ferry.
This is going to be a great battle, though, between Sheik and Ron Cotta. I have a feeling, sandwiching Jimmy Neese in there.
Here's our field summary. Brought to you by Suzuki, Ferry and Sheik. 1 and 2. As Sheik now is starting to pick up some time on Tim Ferry.
Ferry will ride fantastic. We'll see him ride great. There goes Ron Cotta around Neese into third. So
Ron Cotta looks so strong and so smooth in the earlier rounds. We'll be right back with more exciting 125 action when we return to the Silverdome.
I keep thinking about those hunters we surprised today.
Oh, did you see the looks on their faces when they ran for their ATVs?
Yeah. That one guy had a Suzuki King Quad. Did you see it take off up that hill and into the woods? I didn't even bother going after it.
Oh, yeah, them Suzuki's got a lock-in front differential, independent suspension. You can't touch them.
I bet that other guy wishes he'd had a King Quad.
Oh, yeah, that guy was delicious.
The Suzuki King Quad. More features than your friend's ATV.
More air means more power.
Psychologically speaking, the NHL playoffs can be a therapeutic period in a player's life, an opportunity to work through one's issues, to find a quiet place to sit and reflect, to reach out to those around one, to ponder what is good, and ultimately, to reach one's lifelong goal. The Stanley Cup playoffs on ESPN2. Something to contemplate.
Hi, I'm Gary Semix. I'm the personal trainer for many of the top pro riders, and I'm here with this week's Suzuki riding tips. I'm going to give you some tips on how the top riders train for Supercross and motocross. First of all, it's important to maintain a good, positive attitude. The best type of training that you can do is actually training and practicing on the motorcycle. But to really get in top shape, these riders supplement that training with weight training, running, jogging. In motocross, you have to have a great deal of strength, but you also have to have a lot of endurance. So the best effects you're going to get is from circuit training with weights mixed in with cardiovascular training. For this week's Suzuki Riding Tips, I'm Gary Semix.
Well, we just heard from the trainer, Gary Semix, of number 112, Stefan Roncada. He also trains, of course, Jeremy McGrath and Ezra Lusk coming up in the 250 main just around the corner.
I think Gary may know something about his physical training program and know that he should be able to go the distance in this race, charge as hard as he can the whole way. And, of course, that's always a big plus at the end when you're the most tired and you're thinking sometimes disrupted by how tired you are.
Carmichael some 17 seconds behind our leader on the Suzuki field summary.
These guys are both inching up just a little bit each lap on Ferry. Shaping up to be a great three-way battle, and especially with the title on the line between Roncada and Ferry, it's going to get interesting.
We've had some wonderful 125 races this year, David Bailey, despite the fact that John Dowd is not running here today because of injury.
It's amazing to lose a guy like that, and you still get a great race.
Tim Ferry, Scott Sheik, Stefan Roncada.
There's enough depth this season in both classes. There goes, looks like Roncada had a line up the inside. These guys aren't able to do the triple this time, so that's going to help Ferry pull away a little bit.
Jimmy Neese still in fourth.
All the ruts in the corners and through the whoops are getting deeper and deeper. Look at the ruts in this section here. That's why the guys are starting to come out of the corner in favor of the left. Not only does it set them up better for that right there, but they can stay out of some of those deeper ruts. They're everywhere. They're in this whoop section, too. You just can't see them because they're coming towards us. That's what makes it so tough.
Getting around the lapper, Jeremy Buell, number 90. Are the potential podium winners. But the real battle is right here for second place between the Hondas.
Scott Sheik's putting in a great ride. Roncada's coming off a win. Sheik has struggled just a little bit, and he's definitely had the pressure for 4 or 5 laps now, and it's not bothering him any at all. Now he's even closer to Ferry.
Look out! Sheik and Roncada have cut Ferry's lead down to 3 seconds, despite the battle between bikes.
I think I've seen this happen to Ferry before. In fact, I saw it here last year. If I remember right, last year, the year before with Ferry, he just a couple of laps during the race. I don't know what he was thinking. He lost a huge amount of time, and then from there on out, he had to ride defensive. The race just fell apart.
Down to a 2-second lead for Tim Ferry with 8 laps to go. We're going to have a great finish. We know one thing for sure. We're going to go right down to the wire to the final race of the 125 season in Charlotte before we can crown a champion.
What I think may be happening to Ferry is his arms are pumping up to that whoop section where you really got to use your arm, pick your line, and fight the bike not only up and down, but side to side. He's really going slow through there now.
What's happening to Tim Ferry? Let's go to Marty Reed.
Well, we're down here. We're alongside with Lee McCullum, and he's telling his man to breathe, and he's a little too busy to talk right now. Wait till he goes by this time. He's coming around the last corner, ready to give the signal, and he's got a battle on his hands.
Scott Sheik to the outside. Can he get around? He's going to try to cut inside, but Ferry protects his line. Here's the battle. Scotty Sheik. Oh, my goodness. Scott Sheik his first lead.
Something's wrong with Ferry, definitely. It's been happening for about 3 laps now. I think his arms, that's all I can see is his arms got to be pumped up. And for anybody that doesn't know what that feels like, well, believe me, he wants to go a lot faster than he's going right now and win his first title. But there's nothing he can do. His arms are totally numb. You can't feel the clutch, can't work the throttle right, and these guys are gobbling him up right now.
Roncada really has him in his sights right now.
It's nerves, too, that enhance that arm pump whole process. The more nervous you get, the more uncomfortable you are out there, the more you're out of your rhythm and holding on different, tighter, and that's what caused him to pump up. Now he's got pressure. That makes you more nervous. Now he knows the title. These are points he's going to lose. It's an uncomfortable. I wouldn't want to be in his shoes right now.
Okay, let's go to Marty Reed.
Well, we're down here again, the mechanics area. Sean Persinger is telling his man, go get Ferry. He wants that position. Sean, you got to be happy right now. He's charging real well.
Yeah, he's got a good pace, but he needs to get by Ferry. Sheik's going to get away if he's not. Yeah, he's going to get him right now. So I don't know what Timmy's problem is right now. He looks like he's making a few mistakes, like he's getting tired. And I think we got 6 laps left to go, so there's still time to win it, to get Sheik. So hopefully we'll see who the stronger guy is.
Yeah, he's got a smile on his face, guys. He knows he's got a shot.
Oh, it's another commercial for Gary Semick's training program right here. What a 125 championship on the line. We'll be right back.
Get ready for the thrill of your life. AMA Supercross live. A Saturday night you'll never forget. AMA Supercross live. The guts and the glory of the best riders in the world. AMA Supercross live. Feel the rush of the most extreme sport on the planet live. AMA Supercross. The 1997 flight to the finish. Live it live.
Now, the bike you want equals big-time bucks, correct?
Incorrect. Do the math. During Suzuki Fest 97, get up to $500 in Suzuki accessories free with a selected Suzuki, like the awesome GSX-R 1100. You also get free accessories with the Katana 600 and 750 and the RF 900R. And choose from financing options like 0 down and 9.9% APR on selected models. But hurry, Suzuki Fest won't last. So you plus Suzuki equals, well, come on, add it up.
ESPN and NHRA are your ticket to all the action. Live on pay-per-view, the Benzoil Nationals from Virginia, Sunday, April 27th, 10:30 to 6. Call your cable company or satellite provider and order now for just $14.95. Call now to catch all the action.
Welcome back. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Marty Reed from the Silver Dome. Scott Sheik, our leader, is down. Roncada breezes by him. Oh, what a bad break as he leaned into that hay bale.
Well, the faster liners that jump those 3 jumps going into the corner, go wide, then go for the double. He was going for the inside, leaned a little bit too much, went right into the hay bale. Watch this. He starts leaning into the corner. It's a little bit too quick. Right into the hay bales.
Oh, and those true farm boys, after that cover comes off, will tell you that's not a hay bale at all. That's a straw bale. Hails from grass. They feed cattle with that.
I don't think Sheik cares what you call it. It was just in the way.
Roncada, our leader right now. Can he win his second in a row on that Honda Troy machine? Ferry is now in second place, number 22, with Sheik up and running, number 29.
Well, here's what could potentially happen, which would be devastating for Ferry right now in terms of the points. Sheik wasn't bothered too much by that crash. He still looks the strongest of the 3 guys. I think he's got time enough to catch Ferry, and that would drop him back, give a 5-point lead to Roncada.
3 seconds behind Tim Ferry is Scott Sheik. Ferry is fighting for his title.
Well, he got a great second opportunity. He got that in Daytona when Dowd went off the track or made a mistake, but he was still able to regain his composure. And Sheik in the same place again.
There you see, don't quit.
In the same corner, he just fell down. He ran into the hay bale again. That's why his mechanic was out there waiting to give him the board. It took him a little longer to get there.
Number 112, Stefan Roncada.
This guy sure looked good in his heat race earlier.
He's looking forward to possibly his 4th podium appearance in his rookie year. There you see Jimmy Neese, number 85.
Put together a fine ride. Now he's going to have the task of trying to hold off Carmichael, who's coming up behind him. That's going to be a great battle here in a moment.
Well, it looks a little bit like all these 125 riders are getting a little tired. Could it be this taxing course for a 125 bike? You got to really push it around on this track.
It's a lot tougher. Not so much tougher just for the 125. It's tough for everybody. You heard Larry Ward saying how he was glad to be in the semi because the track is tough and sticky. You get a little bit too much traction here and there, and other places you don't need the brakes like you normally do, and the ruts are getting worse and worse.
7-second lead for Stefan Roncada. Looking back to 4th, Jimmy Neese, and here comes Ricky Carmichael. Ricky Carmichael does the double-triple. Can he catch Jimmy Neese as they head around through the mechanics area?
At the pace that he caught Neese, it seems inevitable, and there he goes over the triple.
Please send money. Ricky Carmichael really doing a great job getting back up there. Taking a look at the Honda stopwatch, our leader Roncada goes through the whoops. Here comes Ferry. We'll get an indication anyway as Ferry slows down to about a 7.5-second deficit, and Sheik is back at about 11. But here comes Ricky Carmichael. Look out. So he's got 3 laps to go to pick up 17 seconds.
And Neese having all kinds of trouble through that section. All these guys are right, they're all getting pretty tired. It looks like out front, Roncada has settled into a pace that he doesn't look like he's tired, but believe me, he's saving energy out there.
Well, he's got such a fine lead, he's not going to take any chances.
He's just really adjusted his pace, so it's something he can run comfortably, and if anybody was to come up and pressure him, he could adjust to that, pick it up just a little bit, but I think these guys are going to be running probably the 104 range just by the looks of it.
Roncada, who convinced his father at a very young age to buy him a bike.
Good idea.
His father really wasn't into racing at all.
Greg Schnell working his way through that portion of the track that goes up in the stands.
107.9.
Yeah, it's a little slower than I thought, but he doesn't have to go any faster than this. He's still maintaining a great lead over Ferry.
2 laps to go.
What I'm wondering is if there's time enough for Carmichael to catch Sheik with 2 laps left. He's still charging.
Sheik's best finish at 3rd place on the season. Bad break and falling down. And right here, Ricky Carmichael, number 70. A guy who never gives up.
Sheik went down. That was Sheik's bike. He
went
fell.
down up on the corner, and Ricky Carmichael has taken over the position. He's now in 3rd.
Well, it was definitely time enough for him to catch him. I just didn't know it was going to be that easy.
The white flag for number 112, Stefan Roncada. 1 lap to go for his 2nd consecutive 125 victory. And it puts him back up into the title chase going into the final race of the season.
If, in fact, Ferry's arms did pump up, and I'm hoping that's what it was, because I don't see any other reason that he would be going as slow as he's been going. Some of the plays, rolling over the jumps, rolling over some of the whoops. Look at him, just he doesn't have any strength at all. Maybe that's all just he can't fight the bike with his arms pumped up, but he's put together a pretty strong ride and salvaged this series.
Robbie Horton fans, he's off the track as we take a look at Tim Ferry. And now our leader, Ron Cotta, going up into the stands and coming down the chute.
One more time over the triple.
Steady consistency, smooth riding.
I bet he could get used to this winning stuff.
Well, it's a good target for Carmichael. If I'm going to be a consistent champion, I've got to develop more consistency like this guy right here. He lives about an hour from Nice in the southern France. The checkers for Roncada. Tim Ferry in 2nd.
Still a strong ride for Ferry. I don't know what happened to him, but salvaging his 2nd isn't bad.
And 3rd place will go to Ricky Carmichael. We'll take a look at the top 10, the official results, and some words from the Frenchman when we come back. Some of the action from our 125 main event with Scott Sheik leading the race. Cuts inside on top of the hay bale, and number 112, the steady and smooth and strong Stefan Roncada, goes to his 2nd consecutive victory. Here are the results. Roncada, Ferry, Carmichael. And what a performance by Ferry, coming all the way back into 2nd after really having what we suspect was arm pump. And of course, Marty Reed might be able to check that out when he talks down there on the winner's podium. Let's go to Marty right now with the young man from France and the beautiful smile, Stefan Roncada.
Yeah, let's see if I can do the Marseillaise. Hey, congratulations, 2 in a row.
Thank you very much. I'm very happy tonight.
You should be. I mean, this was a tough race.
Yeah, I did a very bad start. I was looking the rest, Ricky far and Sheik far, but it's a race. I came back from far away, and I'm very happy to be first tonight.
Congratulations. Can you go 3 in a row now? Is this a streak that you're going to just keep running?
Maybe, I hope so. I will try and do my best to continue like this.
Taking a look at the Suzuki top 5 point standings, Ferry with the 13-point edge on Stefan Roncada. But what an end to the 125 season for Roncada. The battle for the big money, the 250 points battle between Emig and McGrath, is coming up next. 63,043 fans here in the Silver Dome in Pontiac, Michigan, ready for a 250 showdown as our points race tightens up. Hello, everybody. Art Ekman, along with David Bailey up top, bringing you the play-by-play action. And David, this is an emotional moment here for these great fans in the Pontiac area.
Well, it's a huge crowd for one thing, and the track is, I think, a little more technical, and it's providing better racing, better passing, and from the heat races, it looks like Jeremy seems to have the upper hand, has that little bit of twinkle in his eye, that confidence that we saw last year. And for Emig, it seems to be the opposite, but you never know in motocross.
As the adrenaline flows, though, do you feel that it's going to be a real tight race?
Well, it seems like it would be a showdown, really, between Jeremy and Emig, but you got a couple other guys that could sneak in there. Bradshaw looks really good, and also Raynard, who won his heat. So any of the guys, other than some of the heavy favorites, some surprises could sneak up in there tonight on this track, I think, and have a good race.
As we take a look at the Suzuki point standings, Emig's lead has been cut from 11 to 9, then to 6 points. In the last 3 races, only 4 more rounds of Supercross action, including tonight's race here in the Silver Dome. Both title contenders are truly excited.
Believe it or not, I'm having a pretty good time. I mean, of course, as far as the whole championship and all that stuff goes, I mean, I'd love to have a 50-point lead. But I think this way it makes it more exciting for myself. It makes it more meaningful because we're definitely working for it each week. And, I know that Jeremy wants to get another one also.
I feel my momentum's picking up for me. I mean, my last races have been getting better and better, and I feel very good on the track now. And last week was great. I mean, I think my momentum's definitely there right now, and it's better to have it now than earlier and drop off the pace.
Two outstanding competitors in really a four-race shootout from here on out. Let's go down to Marty.
This could be the turning point in the entire season. I went to Jeremy Albrecht, that's Jeff Emmig's mechanic, right before they went out on the parade lap. I said, where's his head? And he sounded like he was trying to convince himself more than he was me, saying he's okay. I wasn't convinced. Also, they said they made several changes, one of which was they went to a different tire combination in the rear, and they softened the suspension, so it looks like they're groping for things. Went over to Jeremy McGrath's camp. He's got a big smile on his face. As we've talked about all night long, he has got that look. If we see a big swing in the points, this is going to be the night that we're going to remember where the championship may have turned.
Jeff Emmig, number 3. Looking very calm at the starting line as 63,000 plus here at the Silverdome get ready for what should be a great race. You see Ryan Hughes to his right. Here's Jeremy McGrath. Wyatt Seals, his mechanic. McGrath getting off the bike, looking down. Hasn't gone into his finger shake yet.
Now, they have pretty much the same routine, though. You see the basketball players, the best players on the free throw line, they go through the same routine every time. They bounce the ball the same amount of times, they spin it. And Jeremy has his routine. He always gets off and makes sure the bike's in the rut he wants it to be in. And I haven't really figured out what Jeff's routine is. I just see him sitting there like he is right now. So I don't think anything's out of whack. It's just, like Marty said, kind of the feeling around the pits is, and by looking at those guys, that this should be anyway from the preliminaries, Jeremy's night again.
Then you have some of the hungry riders, like we saw Larry Ward. He's in our picture now. He's looking for his first win of the season.
Don't forget Robbie Raynard and number 7 Kevin Windham moving up to the 250 from the 125s. I think these guys look great on 250s. I've always thought that Raynard spent a lot of time on a 125, couldn't really make that happen, had a lot of injuries, and I thought, why don't they just put that guy on a 250? And he hasn't had all success on it, but he certainly looked good in that heat race. Said he felt better on it, and he's lined up on the far inside gate right there. And if he gets a good start, he could run away with it.
Okay, who will get to that 1-800-PRO race? Whole shot line first. It's worth $1,000. But of course, with a title on the line, Jeremy McGrath and Jeff Emmig are thinking much beyond that. Okay, they're revving up starts. Let's check out Jeremy McGrath's start. Buddy Anton is right next to him. Emmig, McGrath, you can't get a better start with the two contenders. Emmig had the angle on the turn. Windham is up there, but taking the lead. Back and forth we go with Ezra Lusk. Windham, Jeremy McGrath cuts inside, puts a little touch on Emmig. Oh my goodness, Jeremy McGrath goes right to the start. Out of that whoop section, getting by Lusk. Bradshaw is right behind him. What a start through those whoops.
Well, that was a huge moment right there where Jeremy tucked inside of Emmig and messed him up, threw him out into the hay bales. Now Emmig's back in the pack. He's got a long ways to go to catch up to Jeremy.
He's in 10th spot as Jeremy McGrath tries to get a lead on Bradshaw. Bradshaw has really been a favorite here in Pontiac before. He's got 4 wins. Jeremy McGrath has won 3 times here in Pontiac.
Crowd on its feet all the way around the first lap. Jeremy already starting to choose some good lines. They've checked this stuff out on that parade lap, see what lines are getting too deep. Jeremy's turning just inside of those deep ruts, making new lines. Already starting to pull away.
Already with a 3-second lead on Bradshaw, and the battle is starting to be between Bradshaw and Ezra Lusk for second place. Ezra Lusk, 3 straight podiums. Look at number 6, Larry Ward, coming into the picture. Number 7 is Kevin Windham. Bradshaw, Lusk, and now it's Lusk, Bradshaw.
Lusk with a little bit better line to that whoop section, able to work around Damon. Now Damon's got Larry Ward right there. And Windham for his first time up front on the 250 in the main event.
Jeremy came down the hill and looked back at Ezra Lusk. Maybe he's counting the riders between him and Emmig.
You can tell when Jeremy's on, and he gets a little bit cocky, and looks like he's having fun out there. He looks around a little bit. You can tell in his posture when things are going good, and right now they're going great for him. But Lusk is still close. These guys are all charging. It's a fast pack. Lusk, Bradshaw, Ward, and Windham right now.
Emmig is in 7th place behind Kudrowski. Before you get up to Wyndham, Jeremy McGrath is taking the ruts that he likes as we see the pack coming through. Kudrowski, number 100, and Emig is right behind him.
Lusk is actually starting to carve out of that lead that Jeremy had. If he turns around again, he's going to see that Lusk is moving away from that pack, catching him, and he's going fast to the whoop section.
59.5 lap time for Jeremy McGrath with Ezra Lusk right on his tail. Lusk took a third place in St. Louis. He won in Orlando, his very first 250 Supercross, had a second place before that. What a string Ezra Lusk is putting together. But right now, out in front is Jeremy McGrath. Bradshaw still in third, Ward in fourth, Wyndham in fifth, and a battle between Kudrowski and Emig for fifth. For sixth.
Emig has got his work cut out. You see all these guys. It looks like he went to the outside to try to make a move on Kudrowski, and that's going to stick.
You see him come into the picture pretty soon behind Wyndham. There's number 3, the block pass on Kudrowski. Emig is making his pull.
Right now, Jeremy seems to be charging as hard as he can, and Lusk is still just inching up ever so slightly, and he's dragging this pack with him of Bradshaw, Wyndham, and Larry Ward. Wyndham over the triple, changing lines, trying to go to the inside on Bradshaw in this corner. Not necessarily faster, but why follow the guy? Not only to get roosted, but if he falls, you run right into him.
Bradshaw is the next target for Wyndham. He's only 2 bike lengths behind, as you see there. Number 10, Damon Bradshaw, Manchester Honda. And what a delight for the Yamaha fans with their 125 West Coast rider Wyndham putting in such a strong performance before he tries to wrap up the 125 Western title.
You know, Lusk has had some great timing through this whoop section. He's jumping 4 or 5 through the middle section of that. And he's quick into the corner. That's where he made his pass on Bradshaw, and he seems to be gaining time right there on McGrath as well.
He's got a 4-second lead. Jeremy McGrath on Ezra Lusk as we take a look at the battle for third. Bradshaw, Wyndham, Ward in that order with Emig. Several bike lengths behind.
Bradshaw putting in a great ride.
Oh, Bradshaw having trouble in the rut.
Got into that corner a little too hot. Hit that berm square instead of rolling into it. And the bike just wouldn't turn that sharp. He did a good job to stay on the racetrack right there. He could have easily gone off right there by that hay bale.
And so Wyndham moves into third right here.
Here's Damon. Look, he hits that berm square. He didn't come in. He'd have been about a foot to his right. He could have laid it in there, but he only dropped that one spot. That's not such a bad deal. Wyndham is flying. Maybe he can hitch a ride and figure out what he was doing a little bit better. Maybe get him back later in stages of the race.
Okay, the race for the 250 title continues from the Silverdome.
Six cylinders, 6 carbs, 2 bags, 1 windshield. It's a good thing we got 50 states. The new Valkyrie Tour. America's the boulevard it was born to cruise.
David Bailey, Marty Reed from Pontiac, round 12 of AMA Supercross. Jeremy McGrath is our leader with Ezra Lusk in second place.
Jeremy just riding perfect. The way he got through that corner right there, just, if he could have taken a picture, freeze frame, anywhere through that corner, he was in the perfect position, on the gas, perfect line, and still Lusk is there.
Here's our leader, McGrath. Lusk is behind him, picking up some time now.
That's
3.5 seconds, yes.
Making it through the whoops right there. Jeremy gets caught up in a few of those, and he starts bouncing up and down where Lusk is planing forward.
This is our battle for third with Wyndham and Bradshaw.
The section right here coming the other way. Lusk just went out of the picture. Lusk has been getting through there fast as well. There's a main line developing down the middle of that with a rut in it. Lusk is riding through there like it's flat.
Emig has moved into 6th position right now.
Everyone's spread out a little bit now to where, other than Bradshaw still keeping the pressure on Wyndham, to where it's just whoever makes the most mistakes or the least, really, that's going to decide anything, because with the pace everybody is running right now, I don't see any major changes other than Emig making a charge at the end. He could possibly get Larry Ward, but Bradshaw and Wyndham right here are way ahead of him, and they got a pace that's just as fast, if not faster than Emig right now.
Lusk before the whoops was 3.5 seconds behind Jeremy McGrath.
Now he blew it that time through this section right here as he came by and lost that time he'd gained.
Boy, now is where conditioning really pays off. 12 laps to go.
Now, if you think about it as 12 laps, it's too much, especially if you got pressure on you. And you just have to start thinking of the races in smaller increments. Just, okay, one more lap.
Ezra Lusk came down off the hill, making up some time on Jeremy McGrath. A little bit of a stumble right there. Kevin Wyndham and Bradshaw, 3rd and 4th behind Ezra Lusk, number 11.
Lusk did make that little mistake, but it was one of those kind that doesn't cost you any time. Jeremy out front still picture perfect, mistake free. All it takes is one and the whole race will change.
Emig is dropping back a little bit on the leader. Not in position, but let's check out the Honda stopwatch right now.
Look at the way Lusk hops that whoop section. He saves so much time. He just gained quite a bit.
There's Wyndham. There's Bradshaw. And then Larry Ward.
That's the corner Emig just came out of where Jeremy gave him that little tap in the first lap. That's what set up this whole position. He's having to make up for 15 seconds down. And
Albertine looks like he's putting some pressure on Emig. And of course, who's his teammate?
Ryan Hughes will not pass Jeff Emig. I can guarantee that.
Albertine coming up on Emig, and he wants to get in front of him. They even add 2 more points to this young man's total right here. Wouldn't that be a story? After 4 consecutive Supercross championships, changing teams only a month really before, and only a week of bike preparation before the first round open. Fighting from behind the entire season, and Jeremy McGrath.
Minute flat right there. These guys are still going quick, but Lusk keeps gaining. Lusk got a little bit held up there by a lapper at the end. Here's a look at Emig. You can see his timing is just off. Now Albertine's right there. Albertine, of course, will try to get by, and that'll help McGrath. I don't know if that's what's going through Albertine's mind right now, but it'd be going through mine if my teammate was out front and I could pass him.
Albertine is the consummate team player, too, though. He really is. That's what he's thinking. You can bet.
And Emig's thinking about it, too, right now. He's going, okay, what's this guy going to do to me? When you're in a position where you're losing something, you think all the worst things.
4.5 second lead for our leader, Jeremy McGrath, and Ezra Lusk, as we take a look at the battle behind with Jeff Emig trying to hold on to his points lead. Right now, if he stays in this position, we will have a new points leader going into Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Emig right now, to me, just looks a little bit like Ferry did in the 125. Like he's just not riding up to his potential. It's hard to say why. If it's just not comfortable out here on this racetrack, or if his arms are pumping up a little bit, or if nerves are just too much. But when anybody's got this kind of pressure on me, I'm nervous. Albertine is right there. Now Ryan has caught this battle because Emig looks like in some spots holding up Albertine just a little bit.
Let's check down to trackside now with Marty Reed. Marty?
Down here with Jeremy Albrecht. It looks like he's fading. He's like 18 seconds back. Can you put a pinpoint on what's wrong?
Well, actually, we kind of had a little bit of problem with arm stuff today. It's just, I think a lot of the ruts, and just having a hard time with changing the bike around all day. We can't really tell if it's him or the bike. So there's a few changes we did, and I don't really know if it worked or not because it's out there right now. So we'll find out later.
They're coming by again, guys.
There you see Albertine still putting heat on Jeff Emig.
Now it's possible that Ryan Hughes could come in there and put some heat on Albie. Ryan's just got to be the team player right now, having missed so many races this season, to do whatever he can to help Emig win this championship.
Emig in 6th place, Albertine in 7th, and Hughes right behind him in 8th.
These guys are off the pace. They got an entire whoop straightaway and a couple of double jumps before they can catch up with Larry Ward, who in fact is starting to put a little pressure on Bradshaw now.
As we take a look at our field summary, the Suzuki field summary, McGrath, Lusk, Wyndham in 3rd place. That would be his 2nd 250 podium if he can hang on. And Bradshaw in 4th.
And for Jeremy, this is one of those races where it's just one of the easiest things. He probably rides a lot harder than this during the week when he's out practicing. And this is going to, if he can stay upright, earn him another win. And for Emig, it's going to be one of the most races that he's going to want to forget, the one that was the toughest.
Number 1 with only a 3.6-second lead now as Lusk tries to chop it down through the whoop section. Look at the ruts now forming here in the 250.
That amazes me right there. The way these guys get into that deep berm, the foot pegs are dragging, the rear brake pedals dragging the inside, and they get out, keep their leg out of the way, and still jump that double right there.
Kevin Wyndham's best finish is a 10th here in 250 action this year.
That's about as technical a section as you're going to get.
But last year, he took a 3rd in Charlotte. He's trying to equal that performance.
He's not out of the woods yet. He's still got Bradshaw and Larry Ward right there. But so far, it's been a great ride for him. And he had to ride a preliminary qualifier before the heat races started just to get into the program. So he's had plenty of laps out here this evening.
And 7 laps to go as Jeremy McGrath now makes it 6 laps to go coming across the finish line jump. And he still holds a true 3.5 to 4.5 second lead on Ezra Lusk.
Larry Ward continuing to keep the pressure on Bradshaw.
Here comes Ward. Look out. He's got the angle. Larry Ward moves up a spot.
Well, just after I was talking about how he can't finish that last 5 laps of the race, he's starting to put on a charge. Ryan Huffman went down hard on the triple.
And they're having to single all the triples as the leaders go through the triples, unable to fly by.
Looks like he's okay, but...
And they pick up the pace again. Number 1 flies through the triple on the far side as he comes over the finish line jump.
He's stretched out his lead over Lusk now.
It's about 5.5 seconds.
Yeah, I was going to say it's about twice the size it was a couple of laps ago. So Jeremy able to turn in those consistent laps, minute flat, and Lusk was doing the same thing, but as soon as you make a mistake, you can't get it back unless you can go out there and turn some 59s. It's too late in the race to be digging that deep into the bag of tricks, I think.
And Jeremy McGrath, for the first time this season, win 2 races in a row. He's been unbelievable at getting on podiums this year. He's been on 9 podiums in 11 races, Suzuki being on all 11 podiums. A great record for Roger DeCoster. Here comes Larry Ward. Larry Ward getting by Wyndham.
McGrath
is down. McGrath is down, and he's under the bike. Lusk takes the lead. Ezra Lusk in the lead. You can hear his fans really splitting. They're standing up. McGrath cuts in front of Larry Ward, but still can't get his bike started. Let's check this out. Ward, can he pass him? Both Wyndham and Ward are by Jeremy McGrath, and McGrath's bike is in bad shape.
And there goes Bradshaw. He went by just to the left of your screen. Take another look at what happened. He jumps the triple. Now there's another little triple here. This is a technical section. Looks like everything's good there, but front end, carves in there. He turns it a little too quick, and that soft stuff goes down, and he couldn't get up from that position. And it took him a few kicks to get the bike started, and that takes so much energy out of you at this point in the race. Believe me, he is tired.
Not getting an official count of the lappers. I believe McGrath is 2 riders ahead officially of Emig.
Well, that's great news for the Kawasaki camp. This was devastating for Emick.
That has been confirmed, David.
He was going to lose the points lead, but now it's...
Well, that would take it down to 2 points for Emick. Lusk, Wyndham, Ward, Bradshaw, and McGrath in the top 5. Oh, my goodness, how quickly things change. And that corner has been a nemesis to many riders all night tonight.
Certainly has.
White flag lap for Ezra Lusk.
One lap to go. Jeremy could possibly get around Bradshaw, but now you see Lusk wheeling down that start chute. He's got to be feeling great, and what caused that was him keeping the pressure on McGrath. If he'd have slipped back and settled for second, let McGrath have a much bigger lead than that, Jeremy, he may not have been trying that hard, but it was obvious he went into that corner, had to jump over those triples, and it cost him big.
Lusk, Wyndham in second. This could be his best 250 finish, number 7. And Ward in third, equaling his best performance of the year. Bradshaw after Ward, and then Jeremy.
Well, it certainly looks good at the moment for Yamaha right now, running 1-2, and which brings me to the point of Doug Henry, a real title contender, and we shouldn't miss him out here.
Ezra Lusk taking it easy. He's looking for 2 wins in his last 3 races. On the podium for the last 4 straight. His 5th podium of the year. He went into this race wanting to be a spoiler. The flashbulbs are popping for this young man. Ezra Lusk, what a wonderful ride. The checkers for Ezra. His 2nd win of the season, his 2nd career victory. Jeremy McGrath trying to fly by Bradshaw. Jeremy McGrath. Bradshaw goes down. That'll add a couple of more points and tighten up the points race.
Well, Bradshaw cased it terribly off that triple jump, coming into the corner, trying to hold off Jeremy. Went into that corner with no control at all. Jeremy squared him off, and Bradshaw went down.
There was either 1, 2, or 3 riders between McGrath and Emick. We'll have to come back to look at the official AMA count to give you an accurate description as to how this points race is going to be when we head for Charlotte, North Carolina. We'll be right back in a moment. AMA Supercross on ESPN2 has been brought to you by Suzuki. Your Suzuki dealer has the ride you've been waiting for and the financing to get it. And by Honda. Between now and May 31st, you can get a great deal on a great bike during the Honda Ride-Off. Honda, walk in, ride off. Number 1, Jeremy McGrath with a 4.5-second lead on the very persistent Ezra Lusk. His downfall. Ezra Lusk, the spoiler, turned into the winner here at the Silver Dome this evening. Welcome back to the Pontiac Silver Dome, where Ezra Lusk has taken his 2nd victory of the year. Kevin Wyndham, his best 250 performance of his career, and Larry Ward equaling his best performance of the season. Jeremy McGrath, though, also picking up valuable points on Jeff Emick in that points battle. Let's go down to Marty now.
Yeah, down here with a very happy Ezra Lusk. David Bailey said, the pressure you maintain, you didn't settle for second, that sort of forced Jeremy into the mistake.
Well, I was hoping that, I was wanting to push and push and push, and I wasn't really pushing too hard, but I don't know, I didn't really feel that comfortable out there, so I was just trying to stay the distance, but not really push too hard. And it was just enough, this triple right here into this corner, it was getting a lot of bumps when you landed, and I about lost it a few times, so I started doubling and singling to the corner there, and it was working out good, and finally, it did exactly what I figured it would do.
Well, you tightened up the points race. Congratulations. Good job.
Thanks a lot. I want to thank the Lord Jesus Christ, Gary Simmons, for just making me the strongest guy out there, and Bridgestone tires, Fox Racing, AGV helmets, and Fox USA. Thanks.
All right, Ezra, we're going to swing over here and talk to 3rd place. 2nd place is talking to the crowd right now. Hey, what a nice run. 3rd place. This was a very difficult track. How do you feel about it?
Yeah, I feel real good. I've been up front the last couple weekends and faded a little bit. Now the guys have been razzing me in the truck, so I wanted to show that I am strong. I have been working during the week. I do practice. I'm not just going home and eating. And I rode strong. The track was tough and ruddy, and I passed, Damon was riding well. I passed him, and then I got by Kevin, but unfortunately, I hope you guys got it. I rear-ended Jeremy when he was getting going again. I rear-ended him, and I almost looped out. Kevin got back by, and there was only 1 lap left. But, I'm happy I got that Honda Troy bike back up here on the podium.
Good job. Let me get Kevin Wyndham over here. The celebration's starting already, guys, if you haven't guessed. I got to tell you, You come back from injury, second podium in the history of 250, and what a stellar performance. Tough track to do it.
Yeah, the track's really tough, and this is one of the good tracks to feel the difference horsepower between 125 and 250 because the ground's so tacky. But in those last 5-6 laps, I was digging deep and took a lucky break with McGrath going down. But I guess that's racing. You know, everybody goes down here and there. So I'd just like to thank everybody for getting me here. Team Yamaha, Bridgestone, Fox, Shoei, Manitou, Scott, No Fear, and everybody else. I forgot Hammerhead, DK Bicycles, and I'm just so happy to do it here in Pontiac or just really anywhere. You know, I'm just so happy with this.
Got to ask you, hold it up. How's the wrist feel?
Pretty good when I tape it like this. You know, it's just one of those things I sat out for quite a while, and I figured I'd come back and get some warming up before Dallas, and luckily I felt really good on the bike and came back to second. So I'm really happy, and the wrist didn't bother me, so I can't wait for Dallas.
Great job. Hey, the champagne's about to flow. I'm getting out of here, guys.
Okay, but keep your helmets strapped on, fans. It's only a 2-point margin between Jeff Emig and Jeremy McGrath as we head next to the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Also a great battle between Ward and Lusk for third. Art Ekman, David Bailey, Marty Reed, thanks for joining us. Join us next from Charlotte. AMA Supercross has been a production of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.